Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of my baggage droppers around the world, welcome to another episode of the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where we talk to people that are dope, that can bring you hope, and show you a technique that can help you cope. I am your host, the self-talk engineer, Charles Woolfork. And if you are here, right now, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button if you're on like YouTube or Facebook, so the algorithm can do its thing, so it can be a blessing to somebody else. And also, if you're on a podcast platform, give a brother 5 star, but help me feel good. Help me look good out here, y'all. Come on, now I'm trying to be a blessing. Give a brother 5 stars and give me some feedback as well, because I'm always trying to serve y'all. But today, I am blessed to have someone that serves her community in such a beautiful way, Brittany Michelle. Now, Brittany is a visual artist that lives in Atlanta, and she became an artist in 2020. Even though, she was raised in Columbia, South Carolina, she wants to go out and travel the world, y'all. That's right. That's what she is passionate about. So this small town lady is going to go out into the big cities and the big world out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Brittany Michelle. What's up, Brittany?
I love the energy. I love it.
Hey, we are willing and dealing and healing over here. That's what we're doing. You know what I mean? Hey, Brittany, thank you so much for showing up for your divine appointment and coming onto the show today. And please walk us through why you started doing what you do as a visual artist.
Well, thank you for having me. And you know what? It's so interesting when somebody asks me why I started what I do, because I didn't plan on any of this. Like, I literally did not plan for this to be the case. I never knew I was creative. So currently why I do what I do now is because it's therapeutic to me.
Mm-hmm.
It calms me. It just, I don't know how to explain it, but I know an artist will get it. It's just something about being able to visualize something in your mind
Mm-hmm.
and make it physical. And so I do it for that. And then I also do it because, I like to service people. I like to be a servant in my own special type of way.
Mm-hmm.
So people are excited when they order art pieces from me. Like they're like anxious and like can't wait, and they're just, I don't know, their energy keeps me going. I love it. So it's just me actually creating something with my hands and being able to give that to someone, and they appreciate it and they value it and they love me for it. I like that feeling too.
Like that's so awesome. It sounds as though it makes you feel all the different human needs. Tony Robbins says that we have 6 human needs. The 4 main ones are love and connection, certainty, uncertainty, and significance. And it sounds like it gives you all 4 of those things right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So like on your Instagram, I always see you using a torch or some type of like, I don't know what this stuff is. Like, you are always using something new and different. So tell us, like, explain what visual art or what you do as a visual artist.
Okay, so for me, my visual artistic ability, or what I use to create art, is different. I use something called resin. And resin it just became like mainstream, or people just started finding out about it in like 2017, 2018. So whenever I say resin, people don't know what I'm talking about. So that's why I say I'm a visual abstract artist, because they're like, what is resin? I used to say I'm a resin artist. But it's a material that it's like a chemical.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts off as a liquid, and then over time it turns into a hardener. It hardens. It turns into solid. So it basically makes your art piece glossy and elegant and luxurious, and it can take a piece of artwork and take a piece of artwork from here and bring it here. So yeah, different elements goes into it. I use the blowtorch. I use paint. I use pigments. I use all kind of sort of different material, but basically resin is a very expensive art medium that a lot of artists, or a lot of people, a lot of artists don't really know about yet. So it's definitely unique. It's a unique form of art.
That's awesome. Like, walk us through how you started your business.
Okay, so I have to go back. I know I said I started working with resin in 2020, but I have to go back to 2019 to really tell the story. So in 2019, I was working at Verizon Wireless as a customer service representative. So, I'm dealing with the irate customers, mad about their bill, mad about all kind of things. So I'm dealing with, typical customer service drama. And it got to a point where I was becoming so mentally disturbed. Like I was just, I don't know, I was going into work every day and I started feeling like, like a dark cloud was over my head. I was feeling depressed. I was feeling so sad and just like, I don't want to be here. But I didn't know where I wanted to be. I just knew I didn't want to be there. And the crazy thing about it is when I like Verizon Wireless, I was working in customer service before Verizon Wireless at call centers. And everybody's like goal in the customer service field is to get to Verizon. Like get to Verizon. That's the top tier customer service centers of all customer service centers. And the benefits are good. The pay is good. They're just, it was just get to Verizon. So I applied to Verizon and I got it on the first try. Most people take 3 and 5 different times to even get into there. And I got in on the first, after my first interview. And I'm like, this is it. I have the best manager in the world. I have the best pay I've ever had, best benefits. I'm working with the, amazing people. I used to didn't like who I worked with. I loved the people I was working with. Like it was like everything that I thought I wanted, thought I needed. Until I got it, I was like, this still isn't it. I was performing well. I was doing amazing. They wanted to promote me. And I turned down the promotion. And at that point, I knew like, you have to figure something out. I'm the type of person where I used to be like all about money. Like if it's going to pay me well, I'm going to do it. A promotion, I would have never turned down a promotion. So that's how I knew like something has to give. And so in March, I quit March 13th. On March 12th, I got a phone call from my stepmom and my dad. And they called to tell me that my dad was diagnosed with ALS. And I don't know what ALS is, but it's a terminal disease. And you basically lose all of your nervous system is basically dying. So you're gradually losing function in your body as a whole. So I found that out and I was just thinking to myself, like, he was like, I don't know how old he was at the time. I honestly don't know how old he is now, but I think he's like 49 or 50. This was in 2019. So I would say, he was in his late 40s. So he wasn't that old, he's young. And so I thought to myself, like, I just like did a replay on his life and, what I witnessed of his life. And it's just like, he was in the military. All I know him to do was be in the military and work. Like he didn't travel the world. He didn't like do all the things that, you would want to do before you leave the world, but let alone not to be able to function in the world. And I thought to myself, like, Brittany, like, you have to figure out what you want to do now because you don't know how, you don't know how long you got here. Like, you don't know what could happen. So, like, I just thought to myself, it's time to take risk. So I took a big risk and I took a big leap and I took a big jump and I quit my job the very next day. I had no plan. I know.
Yeah.
To anybody, I don't recommend this to anybody, but I quit my job the very next day. I went to HR and I was like, well, what do you have to do in order to leave properly? Because I always wanted to do the proper thing. I wanted to do what was right because I didn't know if I, needed to come back or whatever the case may be. I wanted to leave right. And they said, you can just send us, you just put in a notice. I said, does it have to be 2 weeks, 1 week? They're like, no, you just put one in today. I was like, okay, well, I'm putting my 2-day notice. And I did that and I walked out the door and so many feelings rushed through me. I was excited. I was anxious. I was nervous. I didn't know what I was going to do. I never did anything like this. I was always so structured and organized. And so, yeah, so I quit my job in the same day. I remember going to Walmart. I bought me a desk. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with this desk. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to need a desk for whatever I'm going to do. I'm going to need a desk. So I put up the desk and I went through a phase of figuring out what I wanted to do business-wise. So I knew I enjoyed fashion. And so I first started off with the boutique. a clothing boutique. I put in all the work. I invested a lot of money. I, got my launch together, and nobody purchased anything the day of my launch. Like, not anything, like nothing. And so I continued to try, and it just wasn't it. It just wasn't working. So I started YouTubing. I started like binge watching YouTube day from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. It was YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. And one day, and I'm on YouTube, like ways to make money from home, like how to make money quick, like trying to figure this out. I need money. My bills are still coming. And so a video popped up on my screen one day, and it was a lady making a vanity tray out of resin. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I was intrigued. I was glued to the screen. I said, I have to find out how to do this, or whatever this is. I want parts. And so I found out how to, I saw like the materials to use, and I just watched videos and just duplicated what I saw them doing. I went to the store, I bought all the materials, I came back. I invested my last, like I maxed out my credit card buying this material. Yeah, it was crazy. And I came back home and I made a coaster set, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool looking. I posted it on Facebook, and I said, look what I made, y'all, just look. And my inbox was flooded after that, and it just segued and snowballed into me being here.
Yo, congratulations. Wow, what a blessing. Ooh, like some crunch time stuff right there. I had the faith, kept doing things, and then did something that you thought would be fun and creative, put your mind to it, and then boom, it just took off.
It just took off. And I never thought I had a creative bone in my body. Like growing up, I would always say, because my family, like my cousins and my sister, my family were all creative. And I used to just like, I wish I was creative. I don't have a talent. I don't have a gift. I have nothing. Then I always give credit to God for this, because I literally don't know how I got here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it literally has to be him. There's no other way around it.
Amen. Well, that leads me into my next question then. How have you grown spiritually since you started your business?
It's crazy. I've grown so much spiritually. So growing up, I grew up in a church from the moment I could remember. Like before I was walking, I was probably going to church.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking, and we're going to church 8 days a week. Like always, always there. Like always. So I've always had like a spiritual foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started my business, I realized how much depth spirituality had.
Mm-hmm.
So I've grown as far as being able to understand that I am a spirit, like me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a spirit. And so I started realizing like how much, the scripture, we're made in his image and in his likeness. I never really understood what that meant. I'm like, how we're made in his image and his I just never could grasp that, literally up until the point of me starting this business. And I'm like, I'm really a creator. My creator created a creator. I am made in his image and in his likeness. I'm like him, and I can do what he does in my own realm of things. And so it elevated my it elevated my spiritual thinking, and in that way, like I can speak anything that I want into existence. I can literally imagine something,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens in my reality. Like I never understood that was a thing until business. Like literally, I run my business off of spiritual principles.
Amen. I love it. It's definitely a connection that you have within yourself and with spirit and with the creator, when you have to have that faith, and also when you know your true power, like things just go to a totally different level.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What's something different that you do that most entrepreneurs and go-getters should do to be successful?
Okay. So yeah, this is something that I do that I know a lot of go-getters and grinders don't really do.
Mm-hmm.
I sit still. Like I sit still. Like I am all about reaching my goals, and I'm all about getting to the, having that end game, like getting to the target. But one thing that I realized that worked for me in my business and in my life was sitting still, doing the complete opposite that I thought would get me to where I wanted to be. I say that because in February of 2021, February 2021, I literally had to take the entire month off. I burnt myself out completely. I was very, I didn't want to look at anything art related. I didn't want to, if I saw something art related, I literally got sick to my stomach. Like I burnt myself out. I got out of love with what I was doing. And that's because I was waking up every day, getting straight to it and not stopping until I went to sleep. Like I was just grinding, hustle. And it wasn't until I started meditating and sitting still and being still and listening to my inner self, listening to my inner thoughts, listening to what God had to tell me, then where things started flowing effortlessly for me, where I wasn't having anxiety attacks. I used to have anxiety attacks every single morning. And it wasn't until I just relaxed, sat still, sat back, where things would just flow and work out.
Beautiful. So it's about making sure that you're in alignment with yourself, and your emotions, and also taking a step back and looking at everything that you have to do or that you're dealing with, and all your tasks, kind of seeing things from a bird eye view and being the observer, and then like not attacking it, but approaching it from there.
Exactly.
Yo, that's dope. What's the hardest part of running your business for you?
So right now, the hardest part of running my business is working with my family. I work with my family. It's pretty tough. Like I love them, of course, but it's so different. It's so different working with family. And not in a bad way, but it's just hard. It's hard for me to detach the fact that you're my mom or you're my sister from, okay, you're my assistant, you're my woodworker. Like I need y'all to get this. It's separating the two. It's hard, like knowing when to be the leader in the situation, because I'm the little sister, I'm the baby daughter. So knowing when to be the leader in the situation and knowing when to step back and be respectful still, and just knowing how to say, like it's like I'm always in my head. I'm always overthinking, like how do I say this to them without them taking it as me being disrespectful, and with them taking it as me, really just being stern in my position right now, so that we can get past done. So it's so hard. Like it's like some days where I'm just like, I feel like some days I'm too in my head, so I'm too like lenient, like too okay, yeah, like you have a daughter, so I understand. I need to be understanding in the situation. I know you have to, take care of this and take care of that, and when to, put my foot down, like any other, leadership position would do an actual job. Like I understand life happens, but we have to get this done. Like this business still has to run. And so it's very, very difficult trying to differentiate being a mom, being a daughter and being a sister and being a leader in a situation. I don't like to say boss because I don't want to be, just being the leader in the situation. It's challenging.
Very interesting. No, I'm only paying attention to your verbiage because it's when we do the release work that might come into play with it all.
Okay.
Yeah. There might be something that
I can see where you're going with this.
Yeah. I can see where you're going with this. And where do you see your business in 5 years?
In 5 years, I literally see me hands off
Mm-hmm.
as far as like the actual art goes. So I love doing art, but I see me doing it leisurely.
Mm.
And my business right now I specialize in creating realtor sold signs for realtors. So that's my specialty in this moment. So I see me having a whole design team. I see me having different teams within my business. So a packaging shipping team. I see myself having a marketing team, having management team. So different teams within my business. Storefronts
Mm-hmm.
in different locations around the United States. I want to stay here right now in 5 years. I'm not trying to go global just yet in 5 years, but I see myself, having different stores like in California, in Atlanta, of course, have to be here, in New York, and the popular cities of the USA. So
Yeah.
it's being I won't say household name, but realtor brokerages. I see myself being in those rooms. Like, you have to have this. If you don't have this, what are you doing?
Boom. Yo, I love it. I love it. I love the vision that you have, but more than anything, like you see that it. I mean, you already have a team. It's your family, but it's your team. But for
Yeah.
you to expand your team like more and more, for you to be able to go nationwide, and then, like you said, your aspirations of going global. That's phenomenal, yo. And you're only 28. Well,
I will be tomorrow.
29 tomorrow. Oh, so 28
20
tomorrow. Well, happy early birthday.
you.
And the best birthday present I can help you, the best birthday present I can give you is helping you release a negative emotion or limiting belief today. And today we are going to be releasing the limiting belief that I'm not good enough. So on the Drop Your Baggage podcast, we talk to people that are dope, that can bring you hope and show you a technique that can help you cope. The technique I use is an amazing technique called mental and emotional release. It's a simple, systematic guided meditation. I'm going to talk to the viewers and the listeners out there. For all you viewers and listeners out there, listen, if something has been on your heart and soul and you feel as though you just can't shake it, and going to therapy hasn't worked, and talking to your friends hasn't worked, and you've tried all these different modalities, and you just want to get rid of it, please go to charleswoolfork.com. If you feel like you're getting in your own way and that you have so much more potential, please go to charleswoolfork.com. If you feel as though you have anxiety or depression, or you just have anything that's just been weighing you down, go to charleswoolfork.com. There's a form on the front. Set up an appointment with me. Let's go ahead and start to get rid of those negative emotions, limiting beliefs, and let's get you to your higher level right now, your highest level, without any of those negative emotions, limiting beliefs, triggers, insecurities, all of that stuff. We can eliminate it right here, right now. We're about to show you how we do it with Brittany. Now, with Brittany, like I said, we're going to be releasing the limiting belief that I'm not good enough. So how has that affected you in your life?
Oh my gosh, where do I start? Oh my gosh, seriously. It's affected me all my life, and I honestly didn't realize it until with recently, like in 2021. I feel like I approach situations too humbly. Like, how they say, you gotta be humble. I feel like I approach situations and everything in every way, like super, super humble, because I don't want anyone to, you know, I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm there yet. So I don't approach situations like I'm there yet. I approach situations like I'm getting there. And so that's, a reflection of me feeling like I'm not good enough. Like, yeah, you're good, but you're not great. So I approach situations in very modest ways, but it's affected my friendships. It's affected me and my relationships with my family, my romantic relationships, in all sorts of ways, because it comes off as insecure in some ways. So sometimes, like, well, I've been working on it. So recently I haven't had this issue, but I can say like when I was in high school or when I was even in college, I had, like little fallouts with friends because, if something so simple happened, like if they were to go somewhere without me because they just went somewhere in the spur of the moment, I'm thinking to myself, oh, I wasn't good enough to be invited. And so now I'm walking around with, an attitude or like, being passive aggressive, and they're not understanding what's going on. It was a me thing. I felt like I wasn't good enough. It didn't even have anything to do with what they did. Mm-hmm. Or just feeling different type of ways towards people. And even if they didn't, mean whatever it was, the way that I was interpreting it, all because I felt like I wasn't good enough. So I missed out on a lot of good situations that could have took place in my life because I was downplaying myself.
Mm-hmm. And with your business and you coming at things too humbly, like what have been the effects that you've seen from that specifically?
Oh boy, especially in the beginning, I was low balling myself. Like in the beginning, I made no profit in business. I was practically paying to do the work that I was doing because I wasn't charging the prices that I should have been charging because I felt like my work isn't good enough because I made it and I'm not good enough. And so I would lowball myself so heavily. To the point where it was ridiculous how much I was working and not getting paid. So I used to have customers, for instance, I would have a processing time of 2 weeks to get something done, and if a client said, oh man, I really was hoping that I could have it by tomorrow, I'm like, okay, well, we'll try, like we can get it done, just so that you can feel like I'm good enough because I don't feel like I'm good enough. So it prevented me from staying, keeping my boundaries intact. So it definitely, which played a role into me being burned out. Mm-hmm. Back in February, because I was just doing whatever the customer wanted. The customer was right. That was true for me. Like whatever you want, I'm at your service because I don't feel like I'm good enough to even have a boundary to even, stand on. So it affected my business heavily. I wasn't growing the way that I should have been growing because I wasn't attracting the clients that I should have been attracting because I was feeling like I wasn't good enough to do that. So I was just staying wherever I felt, customers would accept me or wherever I felt like I was good enough for. Mm-hmm. And so my growth in business in that way.
And this question is the one that always stings for entrepreneurs because of this limiting belief. How much money do you think you left on the table?
Oh, Jesus. I don't want to think about it. I promise you, it's definitely over 6 figures. It's within the 6-figure range for sure.
Yeah. For sure. It's crazy how it accumulates over time. One situation and then one situation and one situation. And that one little limiting belief can, with it also, not just the belief being the belief, but also the habits that come with that. It just, it costs us money in the long run.
Us money. Oh, gosh.
Let's I'm sorry. I don't mean to bum you out. Hey, let's get you connected with the mind-body connection. So with the mind-body connection, think of some different times in which you felt as though I'm not good enough. And where do you feel it in your body?
In my chest.
Yeah. Is it how on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is it?
About a 7.
About a 7. Good. 7,
yeah.
8.
Oh yeah.
Got you. All right. You know what? Let's go ahead and get rid of that. All right. Let's get rid of that living in belief. Let's okay. Go. Let's go. All right. So with this modality, all you got to do are 3 things. It's a guided meditation. So number 1, you got to use your imagination. Number 2, you got to follow directions just like you follow a good recipe or Google Maps. And number 3, you got to trust the process. Know that I'm your guide and I'll be leading you through this easily and effortlessly. And I come from a place of love and high vibrations. Also, there's 2 more things. Number 1, I want you to remember, like, this is a moment of healing. So you're going to have a lot of breakthroughs, and you're going to be doing years of therapy and years of personal development in a very short amount of time. So you're going to be releasing triggers from different events in your life. You're going to be shifting your perspective upon different events in your life. Therefore, I want you to go to as many events as possible within your life. And I want you to release as many triggers as possible, have as many breakthroughs as possible, and have as much healing as possible. So I will make sure that I direct you at that time. But remember, just take your time and make sure that you observe your life at all these different events. Second thing, the most prolific and profound healing comes from when you have compassion and empathy for yourself and others. So make sure that you see from everybody's perspective, and make sure that you have compassion and empathy for them. But also very importantly, make sure that you empower yourself amazingly. Empower yourself so much within those events as well. Cool. Let's get it. All right. Is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this limiting belief that I'm not good enough today, and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Absolutely.
Awesome. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event, which when disconnected, that will cause this problem to disappear. If you were to know, what was the first time that you felt as though I'm not good enough when you were just a little girl? Let's go elementary age. Very young.
Okay. I recall a time when I was at home with my mom and my sister, and my dad, he lives in Georgia, and I'm living in South Carolina. And he came into town, which he rarely did. He came into town, and I didn't know about it, but my sister knew about it. And my sister was getting ready to leave the house, and I said, "Where are you going?" And she said, "I'm about to go to the fair." And I said, "Who are you going with?" She said, I'm going with Dad." And I was like, "Okay." And so he came to the house. He came to pick her up, and all of my other sisters were in the car, and I was never invited to come.
Okay.
Invited to come. He said that he expected her to tell me, which she never told me. And they still left me at the house.
So there's a loss of translation, or there's some miscommunication there. Yeah. How old were you when that happened?
Honestly, I don't know. I was maybe 10, maybe 9 or 10. I know for sure I was in elementary school.
Okay. Is there another event when you were even younger? Let's go back to even younger, about 8 or younger.
8 or younger. I'm honestly trying to think of a specific event, because probably every day of my life in elementary school, I felt like I wasn't good enough, to be honest. So I could say when I was in elementary school, I always had an issue with like, like typical little girl relationships with their friends. But I remember this specific time I was in elementary school, at school with my friends, and that I thought were my friends. And I just remember, I in my mind, I had this group of friends, and we would always like do things together. We would always eat lunch together, go to recess together, things like that. And this one time, they just were acting strange with me. They didn't want to be around me. They didn't want to, sit with me, talk to me. They just kind of like left me out randomly out of nowhere. So I definitely felt like, wow, I'm not good enough to be in the group of, friends that I thought I had. Like, they asked me out, I'm not good enough.
Bingo. That's a good one. Now we're going to visit that one first, and then we're going to go to the one with your father and your sister. But I'll make sure that I give you directions on when to go to that one.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start there with those friends, right, quote unquote, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, cool. So all you have to do now is just close your eyes and relax, and let me know when you're ready for the process. So just imagine floating up above your timeline and float behind you into the past and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past above that first event in which you felt as though I'm not good enough with your friends in the cafeteria and just see yourself in the whole event from a third person point of view. Let me know when you can see yourself.
I see myself.
Awesome. Now, just ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event. The learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Just tell your unconscious mind to preserve the learnings. This is an exercise of forgiveness and acceptance. Forgiveness for yourself and others, and acceptance of yourself and others. Who do you have to forgive? What do you have to accept? Who do you have to accept? Focus your attention upon how hurt people hurt people. We're all doing the best that we can with the resources and consciousness that we have. We can't control anyone else's actions, but we can control our response. We can grow stronger and wiser and learn from other people's actions and mistakes. Other people's actions have nothing to do with you. It's only a reflection of their baggage and whatever they're going through at the time. And we're better people than we were when those events occurred. You're a better person than you were when those events occurred. And you're a survivor. Be sure to see the whole event from everybody's perspective. See from those girls' perspective. And also make sure that you empower yourself as that little girl. What is something positive and empowering you can tell yourself and everyone else involved in the event with the consciousness that you have today that will allow the emotions to evaporate like water on the concrete on a hot summer day? And as you preserve these learnings, the emotions are starting to dissipate more and more until they're all gone. Just let me know when they're all gone.
They're all gone.
Awesome. Now, with your eyes closed, keep your eyes closed and tell me, what did you learn from the event as you observed the event?
I learned that these same girls felt like they weren't good enough to receive genuine love, and that I'm a loving person, and it is okay for me to continue to operate in love, even if I'm not feeling the love back.
That's awesome. Now, tell me, what is something that you can take into the future with you to make you a better person?
Something that I can take into the future with me to make me a better person. Look at the next person's perspective and to analyze them and what they may be going through that is a reflection on their actions, and to not take anything personal.
Very wise. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float behind you into the past and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past above the dinosaurs during the prehistoric age. Let me know when you're above the dinosaurs.
I'm by the dinosaurs.
Awesome. Now, as you're above the dinosaurs, just imagine floating into space. Float deeper and deeper and deeper into space to where space in the atmosphere connects. And imagine your timeline is the size of a fingernail. Let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
Float very, very high above your timeline, above each and every event in which you felt that limiting belief that I'm not good enough from birth until now in chronological order. Don't skip one event that has a charge on it. Preserve the learnings and let go of that limiting belief that I'm not good enough all the way back to now. Go.
was a journey.
I bet.
Love it.
Yeah. How you feeling?
I feel great. I
Yeah.
feel um I don't know. I feel loving. Like I feel super understanding. I feel like I don't know, I feel like I want to go empower the world or something.
Amen. Elaborate on the loving and understanding part.
I feel like when I was going through the timeline,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was doing a lot of um I was showing a lot of love. Like I was just understanding. I was basically viewing everything from the perspective of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Like they needed love because it wasn't that it was almost like I was feeling like I wasn't good enough from people who felt like they weren't good enough.
Wow.
So I had to give them love because it wasn't me, it was them. Like they needed that. So I felt like I was doing a lot of pouring and understanding and viewing things from that person's perspective and just giving them grace.
That is so dope, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have known like that, you know, other people's perceptions or like their limiting beliefs were being projected upon you.
Right. Right. The things I wish I would have known. But it's okay because now, it's shifted, it's changed. But yes,
100%.
that's something that I can for sure take with me every single day of my life. Like just, to it's not, take nothing personal. It's not about me. That's their limiting belief and just give them what I would have wanted to receive if I was on the other end of the spectrum.
Wow. Wow. A bit of compassion for those folks out there that are hurting.
Uh,
Yo, that's dope.
yeah.
What did you have to say to yourself? Like, was there anything that you even had to say to yourself?
Absolutely. So I had to I had not remind myself, but I had to tell myself that you in fact are loved. You are good enough. Like you are love. So
Mm,
um, people aren't able to receive love because they were never given love and it's foreign to them. They don't know how to accept that.
mhm.
So just stand in the fact that you are loved and be that despite what the next person perceives it as or despite how they receive it, you still be that. Don't change who you are because of what someone else may be going through or dealing with. And so just be that and help bring them out of where they are if you can.
Mhm.
Don't switch up on who you are. You are loved, remain that,
Mhm.
and know that you are always good enough.
Yo, so you weren't just empowering others, but you were definitely pouring in and empowering yourself as well.
For sure.
Yo, how's that feeling in your chest?
It's gone.
Well, no, let's, huh?
Literally not there.
That's great. So let's test it out. Let's go even deeper.
Oh,
I want can you oh, I'm sorry. Do you smell biscuits?
no.
I asked that question to get your mind off the meditation, to change your mindset. Yeah.
I'm like, biscuits.
Hey, nah, we're not that weird on the Drop Your Baggage podcast. No worries. So, can you remember a time in the past in which you used to feel that old emotion? And go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find that you cannot.
No.
You're trying hard, huh?
I'm like, yeah, like, are you sure? Keep going. No.
Still trying.
No.
Yeah. How does it feel instead?
I just feel like it feels like just peace, honestly. It feels, I keep going back to that love word. I don't know, just like a bunch of love, a bunch of grace, a bunch of compassion, a bunch of just peace and understanding, and just easygoing feelings. Like, it's okay. Like, it just feels, I don't have one word for it.
Yeah.
It's just grace.
That a lot, that abundance of loving energy in that.
Yeah, it's like a lightweight feeling. It's just like just light.
So audience, you guys remember she went from a 7 and being in her chest to now feeling like life and love and grace and compassion. That's so cool. I love it.
I feel like I dropped off baggage. Like, literally, weight was like lifted, and now it's like not heavy anymore.
Yeah.
Like, whole, like, going through the airport, you might have like this big old carry-on, like, heavy bag, and then you finally let it go, and it's like, oh, that release.
I love it.
I was like, that was weighing me down. I didn't even know it. I just feel lighter.
That's awesome. Also, I want you to imagine going out into the future to an unspecified time in the future, which, if the same thing would have happened in the past, you would have felt as though I'm not good enough. But it's the future now. So see if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot. Okay.
A moment in the future where I would have felt like I wasn't good enough.
You're looking for it again.
I am. Am I not supposed to look for it?
No, by all means. I'm fascinated.
I'm looking for it. Yeah. Not there.
Of course it's not there, silly.
It's not there.
You're like, you just get so used to it being there, right?
Yeah.
That's why you're like, look at, like, I knew it was there. I've felt this for decades.
For sure. It's like, where you at? I know for a fact.
Right.
It would be instant. It would be instant.
If I think of this, then I get this reaction. Still looking for it. Why are you in such disbelief that is work?
Because I mean, it's just, I won't say I'm in disbelief, because obviously I believe that it will work.
Yeah.
But because it's been there all my life. It's been there all my life. And it's like, how, like, it's almost like a it's just that thing that just is always around, and you just get used to it being there. Like, it's a nag. Like, you don't really you want it to be there, but you're just so used to it being there, so you expect it to be there. Like having the hiccups. It's like when you have hiccups, it's kind of like, I don't want these hiccups. Like, I hate it, but once it goes away, it's like it's kind of like you anticipated, but it's like, where are you not coming back? Like, it's like that.
That's a great analogy. That is an amazing analogy. The anticipation of the hiccup is like, oh, I think it worked
For a minute, and now you're not, and it's like, okay, yeah.
That's so cool. Like, the first time that I went through this, it was a crazy feeling. I just remember feeling like, yo, did anybody see that just happen? Is this real? This is crazy. What do you look like? Do you look forward to walking into your own power without this limiting belief now?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I am so looking forward to walking in this, and like, just, I feel like I'm about to actually like walk deeper in my purpose than what I was before. Like, it's almost like, I don't know if you know anything about trading, but it's almost like having that resistance level. It's like you have a support and you have a resistance. And sometimes you stay within the support and the resistance and you're just up and down, up and down, up and down, but you can't break past the resistance for some reason. And I feel like I'm finally breaking past that resistance to reach a new high. And it feels great. I'm just thinking about all of the things that I finally get to do now that I just felt like I couldn't before because I wasn't good enough to do. But now I'm like, I'm great. I'm good enough. I'm more than good enough. It's like, yeah, let's do it. About to step so deep into my purpose this year. It's gonna be scary. Yeah. And I specifically made sure that I picked a schedule that was before my birthday because I wanted to walk into year 28 like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, it's about to go down.
Yeah, for sure.
In a great way. It's over. Like you're about to kill the game in a crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
No doubt about it. It's yeah. Oh my gosh.
So proud of you. So proud of you. Like,
thank you.
What would you tell somebody out there that is either on the fence or doesn't even know about this modality?
Man. If you don't know, you for sure have to find out. Like you for sure have to find, like you do not have to stay in that stuck position. Like you do not have to stay where you are. Like you don't have to feel like there's no way out. It's been like this all my life. Like there's no hope. Like this is it. You don't have to feel like that. I felt like that. Like there's no way. Like it was sometimes to the point where I couldn't even imagine myself further. Like I remember back when I used to try to imagine what would my life be like when I'm 25 or when I'm 30, and I could never see past where I was. But I just always thought that it would be like that. And it does not have to be like that. Like you can literally move past whatever it is that is holding you back. It does not have to. It is not your birthright. You are not entitled to keep holding on to that. You can let it go. You can release it.
Ooh. Thank you. God. I appreciate that. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, Brittany, you are officially a baggage dropper.
Yes.
Thank you so much for showing up for your divine appointment today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hell
really.
Yeah. Like your story and just who you are, your energy. I'm so excited for you just to keep rocking it. And in a month, we do a Drop Your Baggage podcast update. So in a month, I want to check up on you, see how you're doing, and see how you're walking into your power.
Yes, I'm excited.
Hell yeah, me too. Please give the people one more word of wisdom.
I would say, what would I say? I would say if you really and truly want to grow and you want to walk in your purpose and you want to be something in the world, you want to mean something and you want to leave your mark and you really want to stand for something and it's in you, like you've been feeling like this forever, it's in you. Don't let opportunities pass you by that can get you to where you see yourself. If you have that vision, if you visualize that, if you see that, even if no one else around you sees it, even if no one else but you can feel that, follow that, like walk in that. That is in you for a reason. And everybody won't see that because it's your vision. It was given to you specifically. And it's your job to carry that out. And so don't leave this world knowing that you had that and you don't do anything about it. Do whatever it takes, even if it hurts you, even if it's uncomfortable. Well, even if you think it'll hurt you, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's something that you've never done before, step outside of your comfort zone and do it. Get it done because you have that vision for a reason and just fulfill that, walk in that, be that person that you see.
Ooh, oh my gosh. Like I ain't gotta say nothing else. Let's say no more. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your support and your attention. I love you all so much. And if you are still here listening to us you might as well go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. I mean, you're already here. Go ahead. It's absolutely free, and it's going to help somebody with the algorithm. It's going to be a blessing. Please, and if you're on a podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars and some feedback as well. Right here on the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where we talk to people that are dope, that can bring you hope and show you a technique that can help you cope. I am your host, the self-talk engineer, Charles Woolfork, with my amazing guest, the queen, the goddess, Brittany Michelle. And until next time, I almost forgot. So sorry to be disrespectful, but Brittany, where can people find you, by the way?
Oh, yes. You can find me on Instagram at Brittany Michelle, the artist. That's Brittany, Brittany, Michelle, Michelle, the artist, Theartist. And I'm also on Facebook. I'm one of those. I still have a Facebook. And you can find me at Brittany Michelle.
That's awesome. I'm one of those too, for sure. And I'm doing TikToks and doing everything.
Right.
Hey, y'all. Until next time, y'all, take care of yourself and take care of one another. Peace.